Whack-a-macabre, everybody. It's another one of these Sportatorium videos where I talk about going to Sportatorium. I already did 80 to 83, right? Or 84. Not, well, 80 to 83. Now I'm going to go into 84 and 85. But before I do, I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Wilson from Chicago. Bro, I'm sorry. My condolences to the loss in your family. It's heartbreaking, man. And I don't look forward to when that happens to me. But, dude, you're a good dude. You're a great dude. And be strong, my friend. I know it never gets better, but at least, you know, I love you. I do. And you rule, dude. And I also want to say a shout out to Brenda, who got me this cool shirt and a bunch of other cool shirts like Chicago Bales Bond from Bad News Bears and an Elvis shirt and a Good Times shirt. I mean, you're the best. You are the best. I adore you. All right, here we go. And again, Wilson, my sincerest, deepest condolences, my friend. All right, let's start this. Okay. Starting in 1984, and I believe this may have been the second date of the Van Halen 1984 tour, which was on January 21st. I believe they played 2 nights. I went to one of them. They did play 2 nights. I went to one of them. I went on the 21st. And Van Halen, man, it was just a flawless performance like every other show. Even though I will say Fair Warning was the best, this was awesome. And a shout out to Eddie Trunk, who says this bullshit that Dave went out there with a sword for 15 minutes. Alex did a 20-minute drum solo. He said that when they played Madison Square Garden. There's a bootleg of Madison Square Garden. The drum solo didn't even last 2 minutes. Dave did the sword thing for about a minute. You know, the bass solo was longer than all that. He didn't mention that because he's like this, you know. He always loves bashing on, you know, oh yeah, I like Van Halen more with Dave, but live, they were like this and that. No, they weren't. You're a liar. Hi, Eddie. I know you're not watching. And if you are, please come on my show. Come on my channel. Let's talk. I'd like to question you about your boy Sammy and all the lies he says. After all, you're like the guy that says, I tell it as it is. Well, come on my channel and tell it as it is when Sammy talks about how they sold more. You know, they played the Sportatorium on 5150 one night. Van Halen on Diver Down and 84 2 nights. And it was a flawless performance. 1984, like every other one. Awesome. I'll never forget, like at the end, this big sign came down and said 1984 and lights. All right, next was a postponed show. February 24th. Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue. Oh man, and that, I've told this story before, but those that miss the story, I'll try to make it as brief as I can. I threw a party, my parents went to Vegas, me and my brother threw a party in this house. We even had a live band playing in the back, and this big school bus drove up in front of my house, and it was like, it had graffiti all over, and it said the Oz years. These guys were the Oz years. And somebody told about my party, and a bunch of people came out, burnouts, crazy alcoholics hanging out on my tree, and a guy burned a dog with a cigarette while he was laying on it, and the dog ran and he conked his head up. Crazy. Another guy grabbed perfume, said, oh man, 2% alcohol, and started downing it. Anyway, they loved being here. They loved my party. They loved me, and I became an Ozzier. And the leader of the Ozziers, who's my hero, I seen him beat up 3 people at the same time, called Sal. He went and bought the whole front row on the right side of the stage. The whole front row, he bought it and he sold it all to us. And I was an Ozzier. Called me up, Ralph, you want a ticket? Hell yeah. So we all had front row. And earlier that day, I saw Motley Crue sign at Peaches. I got their autograph, and I always show this picture. I'm going to show it again. Here I am. Look at the bottom right corner. That's me holding up that Motley Crue. That was at the signing at Peaches. I don't remember taking this picture, 30 somewhat years later, somebody sent it to me going, dude, that's you, isn't it? I was like, oh my God. Anyway, what a show. Motley was awesome, and Ozzy was really good that night. It was an amazing show, and we were all the way up front row with my friend Eve, and we were doing drugs. Yep, we were drunk and high and other stuff. We did a lot of drugs at that show, I remember. Just, you know, probably not as much as Motley and Ozzy, but we were trying to catch up. But anyway, what a killer show. Seeing Motley during the Shout of the Devil era, and then Ozzy coming out with Jake, I mean, right in front of us. Unbelievable show. Great show. All right, then fast forward, I didn't go to the Sportatorium again until July 1st. And this was awesome. This was one of the greatest shows I ever seen. And I would say Screaming for Vengeance I like more, but this one was right there with it. I mean, Jesus. Defenders of the Faith, Judas Priest, was so amazing with the big Metallian stage. And Rob came out, and they opened with Love Bites, and it was just, oh, Sinner, all these great priests. That was a freaking awesome show. And I was really into the first Great White album at the time. I'm not a Great White fan after the first album. They were supposed to open that show. And I was psyched to see Great White, and it turned out to be Kick Axe from Canada, who was cool too. They had that album Vices at the time. Awesome show. I don't remember, I must have been drunk and high at that one, but hey, it's the 80s. I do remember Motley Crue, like being and all the way up front with my friend Eve, and we were, it wasn't weed and it wasn't alcohol, but we were doing a drug, and I don't want to talk about it. Alright, so Priest, amazing. And Kick Axe was cool too. I remember the singer had no shoes on. That's what I remember about it. But I remember them doing Heavy Metal Shuffle and a bunch of those songs. It was cool, but I still wish I would have seen Great White. I did see Great White later, which you'll hear in one of these Sportatorium stories later. I don't like what they turned into, man. I like that first album. It was a killer hard rock before they went all bluesy and stuff. But hey, they got popular with the blues, so hey, whatever. Good for them. All right, after that, this one I did acid. I did acid at this show. Scorpions with opening act Bon Jovi. And I'm not sure if the acid kicked in for Bon Jovi yet when I was watching Bon Jovi, but they were so bad. I mean, I really don't like Bon Jovi. And that was the only time I saw them. I went to another show where they opened, but I didn't go in, which I'll talk about later. But Bon Jovi was, I just didn't like it. And they were, oh, and by the way, let me plug this. This is a book called The Sporto. A guy wrote a story about the Sportatorium. It's kind of a pamphlet. You can get it on Amazon for just like $10. And boy, this guy loves Bon Jovi. I don't know if it was either that show or the Ratt show where Bon Jovi opened, where he glowed on this book talking about how amazing Bon Jovi was. So hey, you know, Bon Jovi's for other people. I wonder if he has a vagina, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the Scorpions came out. Now, this is the second time I saw the Scorpions. If you've seen a previous episode, I saw them open for Ted Nugent and Pat Travers, the Scorpions. Well, this is Love at First Sting. They didn't come here for Blackout. And man, that was ripping. It was the same set list as Worldwide Live, that live album. Awesome show. And I remember I was tripping on acid at that show. I think it may have been the first time I did acid. I think. I'm not sure. And we scored it in the parking lot. I mean, a friend of mine bought a bunch of acid. He's like, hey, Ralph, want some acid? And I was like, okay. Young and dumb. And hey, it was fun. I liked it. I tripped balls and it was fun. After the show, this is a funny story. I mean, it doesn't sound funny me telling you this, but believe me, if you were there on acid, it was hilarious. We went to an abandoned missile base after that show. And while we were there, my friend Damien says, he was going into this dark thing. He's like, hey man, give me the flashlight. There was a flashlight in the car. Give me a flashlight. And Kenny, this guy Kenny, got the flashlight and threw it at him. And he missed it. And it broke all over the floor. And on acid, it was funny. Alright, it didn't sound funny now, but if you were there on acid, it was hilarious. Scorpions, kicked ass. Great show. The only thing I don't like was them playing Holiday and not doing Running for the Sun. You know, the other part of Holiday. They just did the mellow section. I love that whole song. But anyway, that's a small gripe. I love the rest of the show. Alright, next one. And this is the last show I saw in 84. It was October 27th. And this was crazy. It was Billy Squier with opening act Ratt, right? And boy, did I love and still love Out of the Cellar. What a great album. That was hands down the best time I ever saw Ratt. I've seen them headline a bunch of times after, and I'll talk about that when we get there. But this, they were on fire, man. They were just amazing. Then Billy Squier came out, and it wasn't that good. And I like Billy Squier. And I wasn't digging it, man. And I know that show, I was just on Jack Daniels. I was drunk on Jack Daniels. So I walked out during Billy Squier and just walked around. I met a girl. I'll never forget this, man. I met a girl with leopard pants. And she came up to me and she was Randy, baby. And seriously, she just came up to me and started like groping. Oh, I like you. And who are you? And just like feeling me. And she was kind of cute. And I was like, hey, I like you too. And I'm kind of drunk. And we went up to the nosebleeds. And the nosebleeds wasn't that packed. I mean, we went all the way up where there was nobody around. And I proceeded to have sex with her during Billy Squier. I'd known this girl for about 15 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes tops. And I'm up there banging her. Having sex with her during this show. It was insane. And after that, you know, after we were done, she like put up her leopard pants, gave me a big kiss and walked away. And I was like, wow, that was awesome. Hey, for a teenage kid, that was awesome. And, you know, Billy Squier, it just wasn't that good. Ratt was awesome, though. Ratt was awesome. All right, going into 1985. I'm not sure if, I know Molly Hatchet opened for Triumph, but I'm not sure if it was this show. Because I know I saw Molly Hatchet open for Triumph, and then I saw Bad Company with Greg Howe, is that his name? Open for Triumph. So I'm not sure. This had to be the Molly Hatchet one. Molly Hatchet opened, and they were great. I remember seeing Molly Hatchet. I saw Molly Hatchet before on the Flirting with Disaster tour, open for Bob Seger at the Miami Baseball Stadium, which was awesome too. And Triumph, my second time seeing Triumph. I saw Triumph on the Allied Forces tour in Miami at the Guzman Center with Saxon, Denim and Leather open up. It was amazing. But Triumph was amazing. Triumph put on an amazing show. A lot of pyro and lasers, and that was an awesome show. But I didn't have sex at that one. I didn't have sex at any other one. That was the only one. I mean, I had sex in the parking lot at some shows, but that's besides the point. All right, so that was a Triumph. Then, oh man, this was, I only got 2 more shows to go until the next episode. Iron Maiden on the Power Slave tour with Twisted Sister. Now, I saw Twisted Sister on this tour at the Sunrise Musical Theater with Dokken and Y&T. And let me tell you, man, Twisted Sister was mind-blowing. And I'll be honest, man, the first time I ever saw Iron Maiden, I must have discussed this when I talked about it, was the Peace of Mind tour, and they had an off night. Some of it was cool. I liked when they played To Tame a Land. That was cool with the fries. But it was like, whatever. I thought Quiet Riot was better, and believe me, I don't think Quiet Riot's better than Maiden. Not even close. But that night, I thought so. Anyway, so I was telling all my friends, dude, Twisted Sister is going to blow away Iron Maiden. Not even close. This is going to be a slaughter, you know, because Iron Maiden ain't that good live. Twisted Sister rules live. One of the greatest live bands I've ever seen in my life. That night, Dee Snider got in a fight with some dude in the front row. Must have been like some Maiden fan that hated Twisted Sister. And he wasted like, I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes fighting with the guy. It was ridiculous. And then at another point, JJ French gets on the mic and goes, look, we're not playing The Price tonight. Probably they weren't playing it because Dee got in a fight with some dude and ate up the time. And people, the whole crowd booed because at the time the price was a single and people were digging it. They weren't good. Dee was distracted, pissed, and I don't think they were good. Iron Maiden, on the other hand, was on fire. I do have, and I want to give a shout out to somebody who's probably not watching, called Greg Barnes, that ended up getting me a bootleg cassette of that Hollywood Sportatorium show, Iron Maiden. And I always said it, man, they were so damn good. And then when I saw the Live After Death tour, you know, on the video and stuff, I just didn't like it. I thought Bruce sounded like ass. And I was like, man, I don't remember Bruce sounding like that when I saw it. Well, I got the bootleg cassette and Bruce sounded great. And that was an awesome show. Iron Maiden was mind-blowing. Totally destroyed Twisted Sister. Badly. And yeah, it was the same set list as the Live After Death home video from Long Beach Arena. They didn't play stuff like Murders in the Rue Morgue, Phantom of the Opera, where you see on, you know, other, on the Hammersmith show that's on that live album. But they were just amazing. Now, the last show, March 16th, which, I don't know, I'm thinking July 16th to March 16th, I didn't do Acid. I did Acid on March 16th for this. Deep Purple. Opening act, Girls School. Yeah, it's kind of like a mismatch. But man, it was my only time seeing Deep Purple with Richie Blackmore. Perfect Strangers tour. I'll never forget like the laser show and on Acid, seeing all those lasers during, you know, Perfect Strangers. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm like, dude, I'm tripping balls here, man. It was awesome. It was amazing. And Girls School was cool too, though. I did see Girls School at a little club called Flynn's. It was much better, and it was before. At this point, Girls School did Play Dirty. It wasn't as cool as, like, you know, the earlier stuff. You know, Race with the Devil and stuff like that, which I saw that incarnation before, and they were on fire. This one, it wasn't bad, but they were getting a little commercial, and Deep Purple just owned that night. Seeing Blackmore open up with Highway Star, doing that ripping guitar solo, man, amazing. So that's it for this episode, 85. I still got 86, 87, and the place closed in 88. So stick around for that. Probably be up like next month sometime. And I want to thank you all for watching me talk about my crazy stories of the Sportatorium. And Acid, Jack Daniels, weed, Quaaludes. I don't even remember. I must have done Quaaludes at some point, some of these shows. I don't remember. I remember doing Quaalude at Kiss Lick It Up, which was on a previous episode. Anyway, that's it. So, thank you all for watching. Hey, if you like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you have not. And check out this book, man. I mean, this guy's got a different opinion of me musically, but that's cool because he loves Bon Jovi. Nothing wrong with that. Unless I like Bon Jovi, there's something very wrong with that. And please subscribe to my channel, okay? Give this video a like. Press that little notification bell. And stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gaba.